guys, it's Steph here. It is so bright. It snowed out here and the sun is out. It's beautiful, but my eyes can hardly handle it. Anyways, today it is winter time. Obviously, as you can see, it's almost December, not quite. We're a few days from December, but there are a few things that I need to be doing in winter time that I want to share with you because these are important things that you might not know. So I have some newly planted evergreens and some newly planted hydrangeas and some 2 to 3 year old hydrangeas in my yard. So I am just going to go ahead and give all of them a nice watering. Thanks to many of you viewers watching me and comments that I have received. I heard with hydrangeas that if they dry out and don't get enough moisture in the wintertime, that can keep them from blooming, especially, I guess, all throughout the year. So I'm just going to go ahead and water my hydrangeas, my evergreens, and my newer trees once a month. That's all I'm going to do. Give them a nice soaking, maybe a gallon's worth. I don't know. I'm just going to go ahead and count. And when I think they've gotten some nice saturation, I'll just go ahead and do that the next month. So with our winters, we get a lot of snow, but we don't get a ton of rain. And snow is a great insulator, but it doesn't really saturate the soil. We want the snow in our mountains because that's what gets us through for the whole summer, the springtime until fall to help us water our gardens. But I need to make sure I saturate the soil once a month. So anyways, it's really not that difficult. It is so beautiful today. That sunshine is so warm on my face. This is such a nice day. Right here are my incredible hydrangeas. So these are on the west side, and I was kind of sad because in fall we had a lot of water restrictions this year. We could only water about once or twice a week. That's how much of a drought we were in, and we have secondary water. So anyway, they shut it off like in the beginning of October. It was still really dry. I didn't water these quite enough, so they fizzled a little bit earlier, and the winter interest isn't as great, but they're still going to be okay. So I'm definitely going to give these a nice soaking right now. So these Incrediballs are hands down my best performing hydrangeas. I could probably go without watering them and they would be just fine, but since they did dry out pretty bad in fall, I'm going to give them some nice water all winter long and make sure I don't forget to do that in fall. But they are just such a fun hydrangea. They grow so quickly. They were kind of an established plant. Within the second year I had big blooms, so they give you a lot without having to wait very much, which is always great in gardening. And my mom actually cut some of these hydrangea balls, brought them inside about 2 months ago. I was just down there visiting for Thanksgiving, and it is still looking great. So they are just so fun to bring inside as cut flowers. They provide a lot of nice winter interest and inside interest. So great plant. Looking over to my other evergreens here that seem to never grow. I have totally forgotten which ones these were, and that's not typical for me. I try to remember everything, try to keep labels. Please let me know what tree this is, but they don't get very wide. They only get about 6 feet wide. So these are gonna come and fill in nicely together, and they get about 10 feet tall. So not super tall, but they're pretty young, so I've got to water these. I had to water them quite a bit in the summer, and I didn't get to watering them in the fall, giving them a nice soaking. But we did get some nice fall moisture. Got to water my Japanese maple, which I failed to get into the ground. And the next week it's going to warm up a little bit. I'm definitely going to try and still get it in the ground in the next week or so. Look at my black mondo grass. Isn't that so cool? It's an evergreen, provides a lot of interest, especially when there's no snow. But look, they just kind of look like little spiders right now. Massive spiders. This is my other Japanese maple, and it was struggling from severe drought stress this spring and summer, and I didn't water it at all last winter. So they have shallow roots, your Japanese maples, and so you want to make sure you give them water. They just dry out a little bit more quickly, but it's doing just fine. All the branches bend nicely, so it didn't die, it recovered. I just gave it a lot of fertilizer. When it is having drought stress, that is a key to helping it recover, just giving it a lot more nutrients. Kind of like when we're dehydrated, we just need to give ourselves and our bodies when we're down a lot more of those nutrients and a lot more water. Then of course I've got my mop heads here. I just did a video on it. I'm gonna give these a nice soaking. I don't know how, I'm just gonna maybe stick the hose around here down below. It should be just fine working around that straw a little bit. But those are newly established plants, so for sure gonna do that one. So I don't really worry about my established ones. We gave them a nice soaking in fall before the water was turned off. All of our big mature trees, because they're like 30 to 40 years old, and they were showing signs of drought stress, which was kind of scary. We did not want to lose all of our big trees. So these are the big ones I'm talking about. So when they're mature, you really don't have to worry about it, unless it's extremely dry, which it was for us. This is our forest pansy redbud. So this is a younger one. I'm going to go ahead and water that one. So I'm not going to worry about watering anything else. A lot of my perennials are drought tolerant, and since hydrangeas are such water loving plants, I'm really focusing on them. They're just not as drought tolerant as my other ones. So that is kind of what I'm focusing on right now. The other things that I've got to water are my container pots. I have some tulips in my garage that my cats have been getting to. I wasn't anticipating that, so I got to cover them with some chicken wire. Side note, I thought I'd be safe with the mice and the rodents, but then I didn't take into consideration my cats. They love to dig in soil. It actually already pooped in one of them. I couldn't believe it. I'm gonna have to get my pooper scooper. Anyway, I'm gonna cover them with chicken wire, but I am gonna water them about once a month. Just kind of check them. I really shouldn't have to water them very much. That's kind of what I got to do in winter regarding watering and winter care. And then when spring comes, it'll be a whole new adventure. Anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying your winter, the holiday season, and that you're enjoying a little break and relax time. Anyways, thanks for stopping by. Have a great day gardening, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.